All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Kellen Time. It's been a while. Sorry, I had some family life things going on, work. You probably guys don't care, but we're back. Thanks to this lovely little piece by Peren Watches. This is called the Nera Rogue. It's a dive watch, as you can see, and it's a fun one. It's got great measurements, it wears really well, and it's got some uniqueness to it that we'll get into here in a little bit. Just wanted to kind of talk about it a bit. Comes in two variants. They have this bezel version, the stainless. Then they also have a black, which doesn't have any numbers on it. So you can see it's actually a pretty good size. Some nice marking on the case back, and the finish is great. It's kind of what I like, old school way of that, like kind of shot peen finish, which is really nice. Let me get this back on the strap. It actually came on this leather strap here. I'm not a huge fan of leather straps. Not that this is not a nice leather strap. It's genuine leather. It also has a bracelet. I didn't get the bracelet with this model. So I just decided to throw it on a NATO. So let me get this back on the NATO for you. 1 second. So overall dimensions, it's a 39 millimeter case. It's 12.8 millimeter in height, and it's 48 lug to lug. So you can see it's pretty compact. It's a nice size dive watch. Anytime you're under 40 mil, you're doing a pretty good job. The dial, I believe the dial is around just under 30 mil. So it gives you it's kind of got a small dial, a small face to it. So it actually makes the watch look even smaller. And that's one of the things that I did enjoy about the watch was its wearability is great. 39 mil and 48 mil lug to lug is really good. I didn't mention, but it's a 20 mil lug width. So that's pretty great. But the dial, just the overall look and feel when you have it on wrist, is that dial, because it is so small, kind of makes the watch even feel a little bit smaller. Not that it's big by any means, but yeah, it's got a good feel to it. It's got a 120 click bezel. This is the 12-hour variation of the bezel. Like I said, the black bezel doesn't have any markings on it, but a really nice tactile finish. And one of my favorite things about this watch is the black side bezel. And I'm trying to get here, see if you can see you can see the traction that you get. But it's sloped really nicely. It's got good tactile feel, and basically anywhere you grab it on the watch, you can give it a good turn, which is nice because it is a pretty sturdy, like you're not just gonna bump this and turn it. You do need 2 fingers, but there's no problem turning it. It's got a nice feel to it. And one of my favorite things, and that black bezel kind of gives it a bit of a different look. That's not very common. Usually that's gonna be the same finish as the watch, so that's nice. You can see it does have a signed crown. It's got a flat sapphire crystal, so there's no dome to it or bubbling or anything like that. They say it has 3 layers of anti-reflective coating on it. And then, the whole finish it's the stainless steel watch with they call it bead blasting. But again, that reminds me of that kind of shot peen finish, if you will, but bead blasted. And then this is a black PVD on the bezel. So pretty nice. Then stainless insert. What else? So overall, just trying to talk about the basics here. This is BGW9 Swiss Super Luminova. So probably a lume you guys are familiar with. Not a ton of application on this watch, but it does just enough, it does what it needs to do. And it's 200 mil water resistant. So pretty good, pretty straightforward. It's got a Swiss movement in it. It's a Sellita SW200 with that's in-house regulated. So they call it an in-house movement. You can see the Nera there at the bottom is kind of an orange, like a soft orange color, almost like a peach, almost like a sun faded orange, if you will. And then the date disc is actually black as well, so it really kind of blends in with that. But back to the movement, it is in-house regulated, 38-hour power reserve. It's obviously got the date at 3 o'clock. Hacking seconds, so pull it out, second hand stops. You know, the movement feels pretty good. There's nothing, I think, you know, you've probably had Solitas, the winding action is good. Feels nice and has a nice feel to it when you're winding it. Not too gritty, but not too smooth. Yeah, so you guys have probably had this movement maybe in other watches, but pretty solid movement. Nothing to complain about. But I think it's a nice choice that it's a Swiss and that they've regulated it in house. So the dial is metal and it's got kind of embossed indexes on it, and then it's technically, it's kind of hard to see here, but it is a very, very dark blue, like one of the darkest blue dials I think I've ever seen. So it comes off as black unless you're really in the sunlight. So it's kind of, especially with the black bezel kind of leads it to look like it's black, but it is technically a dark blue. And if you're in the direct sunlight, you can see it. And then you've got these white kind of diamond cut hands. They're actually steel, and they have BGW9 on them as well. So good lume. I think my one drawback or my one critique of the watch overall is the handset. I don't mind the shape of the handset, but you can see the minute hand actually extends past the minute tracker. So I would love if they cut the minute hand short so it points right to one of the minute indices. So basically kind of in between the length of the hour hand and the minute hand, because right now it extends over past the minute tracker. And so at a quick glance, because the minute hand is a bit thicker, it's sometimes hard to tell if you're in between, like which number you're in between. That's a pretty small critique, but I would say that just the fit and finish of that hand there, if it was just, like 2 mil shorter and it pointed directly at that minute track, that would probably be my favorite update they could make. But overall, fit and finish on this watch is pretty great. Take a look at that case back again. You can, like I said, you can get this on a steel bracelet or a NATO, or this one came on leather. So you can kind of see they have a lot of the markers, a sapphire, stainless steel, automatic, 200 meter, Super Luminova, Swiss. And it kind of highlights each thing. The movement is automatic, the depth right there, the lume, which is kind of cool. So I believe these will be individually numbered if you purchase them from Peren. So they come in at 595 Swiss francs. Quick translation. Looks like it's about, sorry, I probably should have done this prior to. Yeah, about the same, 597. Yeah, so just trying to give you an overall view. Again, great size, 20 mil, right where you want all your lug widths to be, because you know most of your straps are probably going to be 20 mil, so it can accept all of those. That dark blue dial is really hard to tell, but it is dark blue, but really tight fit and finish. I do like that it is a flat sapphire crystal. And again, because the dial is a little bit smaller, this watch, even at 39 mil, presents itself a bit smaller on wrist. So if typically 39 is a little bit too big for you, I would say don't be worried about this watch, because it's gonna look a little bit smaller. It's got a nice hefty feel to it. You know, it's not, let me throw it on the wrist real quick. It's not too heavy by any means, but it's definitely got some weight. I don't remember if I weighed it. Let me check my notes. I don't think I did. Get this on wrist. I have a big wrist, so you can kind of see my wrist is just under 8. So big wrist, but for me, a good size, not too small, not too big. And I wore this for a couple weeks and I can't even tell I've worn it. So thing's pretty sturdy. The finish takes, you know, it can take some abuse without looking too worn. I do love the bead blasted finish. Kind of comes off a little bit more rugged. And again, probably my favorite feature is that black bezel that's kind of offset there, or it's chamfered in a little bit, which is nice. Great bezel action. Just overall, tight, fun watch. Check them out if you like them. Thanks, guys.